What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Miguel. You're watching Miguel EDC, the channel where we talk everything EDC gear here. Today we're going to be taking a look at this knife right here on the table. Of course, we're talking about the QSP Walrus. This is a new release from QSP, and yeah, I've been having the pleasure carrying this knife. Quite a lot to unpack here with you guys. Of course, have some feedback to share with you during this comprehensive review, so you guys know everything you need to know when making an purchasing decision, right? You have all the information you need. Of course, this knife will be linked down below in the description, as well as any other knife that you see in this video. It does help out the channel when you use those links, but that is entirely 100% up to you, and that's zero extra cost. That being said, let's get into it, right? So first things first, let's do a quick measurement on this bad boy. Let's see, overall measurement here, we have just a tad bit over 8 inches. I want to say 8.15, around 8.15, 8.2 overall length. As for the blade, we're looking at almost 3.5, but not quite, maybe like 3.4. And the cutting edge is going to be like 3 1/4. Handle length is about 4.7, 4.75. Those are your overall measurements right there. Of course, we are working with a pretty medium to large knife for the most part. So let's get some quick size comparisons going on here, just to give you a ballpark right off the bat. There is your PM2 Spyderco and the Para 3 as well. So it's definitely more PM2 size, if anything, compares to the PM2 the best. Here's your Demko AD 20.5 and the smaller brother, the Shark Cub. So definitely longer, right? Larger than both of them. So you can clearly see, you guys be the judge. Next, we have some very popular models from last year. We got the Civivi Vision FG, and we have the Civivi Sentinel Strike. So the Walrus is actually going to be a tad bit bigger than the Vision FG, but it's actually shorter than the Sentinel Strike, as you can see. And last but not least, the CJRB Pyrite, also very popular, as well as the Vosteed Raccoon, right? Check it out. Take a look at it right there. The Walrus is going to be a little bit bigger than the Raccoon and the Pyrite as well. But again, just quick ballpark so you have an idea where this guy lands. What do we have going on here as far as materials? Well, I'll tell you what. We have a D2 blade going on here, right? This one sort of has like a Persian sort of trailing up point to it, if anything. A little bit of maybe a harpoonish Persian style. Quite a bit of belly going on here. Very pokey tip right there. Stonewash finish on this one, as you can see, and that looks really good. And it is a liner lock with a flipper deployment. So we can deploy it here with a flipper, right? That is the one and only deployment option. And it's actually pretty good, right? Good amount of jimping on the flipper tab right there. And then you just light switch it and it goes bam, fire every single time. Can I fail it, right? I think even if I try to fail it, I'm not going to end up failing it. The detent is tuned there really good, right? Really good there. You guys take a look there. Yeah, so yeah, we have also liner lock going on here. So good jimping on the liner right there. Good access to the liner as well from this side. And by the way, the ball bearings here are really nice and smooth, right? Good, not drop shot guillotine style, but certainly a little bit of a shaker shutter, if you will, right? It drops really nice and smooth once you give it sort of like a quick shakedown. We have green micarta going on this one. By the way, QSP does a really good job with the micarta. Good solid finish to it. By the way, the micarta has contouring going on all around, so that adds a little bit of extra quality, a little bit of extra attention to detail, if you would. The liners are proud and they stand out just ever so slightly longer than the micarta scales, right? So I noticed that as well, right? So nice sandwich construction, if you will. You do have a, I want to say G10, right? Perhaps a G10 backspacer going on here, right? If it's micarta or anything else, I'll put it right here when I'm editing this video, but it looks like G10, and good access linear hole right there. If you're into that, right? It's pretty decent linear opening hole right there. And we have the pocket clip, which is one side only, and this is an interesting design that I haven't seen in any other QSP knives, at least in my personal experience. It's a little bit curved. I'm not sure if they make a lefty version, but it's actually not reversible the way this one sits. So when you think of a flipper deployment, right? Flipper deployment can be used pretty well with, you know, both hands, right? Left-handed folks alike, lefties. And here I am using it with my lefty hand, and I am able to deploy it, able to close it just fine. So, you know, a reversible clip would have been nice. I know they would have had to include a different clip because this one wouldn't make sense on this side. It would sort of curve the opposite way if you think about it. So they would have had to add a additional clip, basically a mirror image of this one, but we'll go on the other side. So I mean, that, you know, missed opportunity there, if anything. But you know, other than that, I mean, the action, this thing is really good. Action is really great. And this thing cuts amazing, right? Really great cutter, great slicer, flat grind going on this one, and this thing goes through material like butter, right? So let's go ahead and do a quick carry profile before we go deeper into the video. All right, thickness against the PM2. All right, it's actually going to be a little bit thicker than the PM2. Something like a Demko AD 20.5 is also going to be a little bit slimmer. All right, and last but not least, the Civivi Vision FG is also going to be a little bit slimmer as well. Okay, what about length and height in the pocket? So this one has somewhat of a narrow aesthetic to it, but it does have this curvature here towards the back. So if you compare it to something like a Spyderco knife, it's still going to be a little bit narrower in the pocket, right? Something like a Demko AD 20.5, definitely going to be taller. But it definitely compares really good to something like the Civivi Vision FG. That's pretty decent right there. Perhaps a little bit narrower than the Sentinel strike. Then you kind of get the idea right there. So not pretty tall, it is pretty narrow, but it does have this curvature here towards the back. So speaking of that, right, that actually helps with ergonomics. So the nature of your palm is this section here is lower than this section. So, you know, gripping the knife here, doing the standard hammer grip, feels really, really good in the hand. So your standard position right here, you have some jimping going on the blade right there. You can go to work. If you want to rest your thumb a little bit further forward, you can. There's a little bit of a curvature right here, right? Making sure the camera can pick up on that. And yeah, you can also put your thumb right there. That section is not jimped, and this section is, so a little bit of preference, right? If you want the gym section, you know, you can want to lock up right here, and if you don't want the gym section, you know, you can do that right here as well. So that's pretty interesting. No forward choke option or finger choil, but if you want to do a control cut, as long as you're mindful where your index finger is and where the edge is, you could do that at your own risk. I probably won't recommend you doing that. So being back here with a standard grip, using the flipper tab as a, you know, kind of like a finger guard, that is definitely the way to go. Guys, you know me, I have average hands, not the biggest of hands, not the smallest of hands, and I'm able to get a full grip on this thing, full purchase, right? A little bit of a handle left in there, and if you had triple X hands, you should still be okay with this knife. So that feels good right there. The pocket clip is kind of like an 8.5 out of 10, right? It does a good job at, you know, I'm barely feeling it in my hand, if anything. So it's nice. Not the most deep carry, by the way. So about this much of the knife is going to be showing out of the pocket. But they do a good job with the way it is. It's just a straight line, like kind of like a half circle drop and a shallow bill. And yeah, I barely feel it in my hand at all. It is on the wide side. It is curved. You got some speed holes right there for weight reduction or aesthetics otherwise, right? Of course, we're talking about a budget knife here. So this is going to be, right, steel pocket clip, pivot, hardware, right, liners and things like that, as you would expect. D2 on the blade, if I haven't already mentioned that at the beginning. I'm pretty sure I did, but just in case. Okay, what else do we have going on the knife here? You got a stop pin right here for when the blade closes, right? You'll see that it's gonna hit right there. It kind of provides a good stopping point for the blade so it doesn't hit the back spacer. And yeah, that pointy end right there from the blade is nice and out of the way. You know, you don't run any issues of running your finger into it or anything like that. And yeah, amazing action. We do have some milling going on those liners. You can see those holes right from the inside. Not so much. Yeah, you still have a few on this side as well towards the back. I'm gonna get my flashlight to show you guys. Hopefully you can see it. There we go. Right there are the holes on that end and also on the other side. So it's actually, it makes for a good weight on the knife, right? I don't feel like it's a extremely heavy knife. I also don't feel like it's an extremely light knife. So let's do a quick weight check on this bad boy. And there you have it, 4.1 ounces total weight. For reference, something like the Civivi Vision FG is 4.3, so just a little bit heavier. And the Sentinel strike, which has aluminum on the handles, is 3.5. So that should sort of give you an idea. By the way, there is a smaller brother to this guy. Also came out at the same time. The review for this one is coming up as well. The QSP Otter, right? And this one has JG10, and it's gonna be a little bit lighter in nature, 2.4 ounces. So definitely make sure to check this one out. It'll be dropping soon in the channel here. Let's do a quick blade stock thickness here on this bad boy. All right, let's see. Blade stock thickness coming in at 0.14 in the thickest side, right? Typically 0.12 is more so the average here in the channel. So that's a little bit thicker, but it definitely comes down to a very thin edge, right? With that full flat grind all the way through. You do have a little bit of a swedge right here right? But for the most part, full flat grind, right? Otherwise, handle thickness here at 0.55, right? So yes, just like you saw when we did the carry profile, it is a little bit thicker than most knives, right? The average in the channel is 0.50 or half an inch. So it definitely gives you a little bit more meat, right? A little bit more girth to the handle. Not nothing crazy, but you know, definitely good to, you know, feel the hand and make you feel like you have a solid tool there ready to go, ready to perform, right? You can do some work with this tip right here, but I wouldn't recommend doing any type of prying. Remember, a knife is a cutting tool, not a prying tool. Let's do a quick hardware check. As usual, my tools are highly recommended and linked down below in the description. I want to say we have a captive pivot on this side, which is a good thing. And then we have a T8, not a T8. Do I not have a T8? Huh, somebody, probably myself, switched around the T8s and the T9s. What a joke. Okay, there we go. This time, T8. All right, there we go. Now this time for sure. T8 and the pivot right there. That's good. And it looks like everything else is going to be T6. Body screws are T6. Pocket clip is a T6. It looks like this last screw right here on the pocket clip also works as a body screw. And yes, T6 on the other side as well. That is your hardware. As long as you have, you know, good recommendable tools and a place to put your hardware, it should be not a very difficult at all knife to take apart. I mean, if anything, you guys know my stance on T6 versus T8, but this is a budget knife, so it kind of makes a little bit more sense here as compared to some of the premium knives that we see this day and age still with T6. So I can see where, you know, that we're doing some cuss cutting right there. Yes, T8s are more preferable than T6. The T6 are still going to get the job done. And yeah, that's what you got going on here. Again, pretty awesome knife all around. I will tell you this. Typically, my preference is not to have a trailing tip that goes up like this one, Persian style. But carrying this one, it sort of grew on me a little bit, right? When I first did the unboxing, I was like, I'm not sure if this is my style or what have you, but, you know, kind of carrying it, right, it's been really nice. Pleasure to carry for sure. Check out the alignment right there, smack in the middle. And you have some good jimping on that flipper tab. So you flipper, you light switch it every single time and you're good. Only other thing I can think of, aside from, you know, again, the screws, which are not really a big deal on a budget knife, and the fact that the pocket clip is not reversible, which these days we see so many knives that are ambidextrous, like a flipper tab is, offer a reversible pocket clip. But other than that, the only other thing would be, and this is more so my personal preference, it could be that this doesn't really matter to you at all. But I mean, me personally, I like knives that have multiple deployment options. So if there was a thumb stud here, right, something I could maybe do a reverse flick with, right, that would be maybe the one thing that would have completed this knife for me, aside from anything, just having one more additional deployment option. So I like flippers, right, just as much as the next person, but again, I do enjoy knives that have more than one deployment option. But yeah, that's about it. And again, that's being really nitpicky. That really doesn't take away anything from the functionality at all of the knife, right? I'm trying different grips here for you guys, right, to check it out. My Friday night gas station Slurpee fighting grip from Kevin, aka Lefty EDC, right? Cutting straps and things like that, right? Pretty comfortable either way. Of course, it does have the curvature, so it's more so going to benefit you when you're gripping it with the curvature towards your palm as compared to the other way around like this. But again, it's not all that uncomfortable, if I'm being honest. You have a little bit of a curvature here for your index finger. All your other fingers follow suit, and boom, you are locked in. So pretty solid knife. Again, great action, very reliable, right? I mean, they executed it really nice. It is a tool. This thing will cut like crazy. And yeah, it ended up growing on me quite a bit here during the time that I carried it, even though for the most part, I'm not a Persian style kind of EDC guy, if you would. But you know, D2, feel like maybe 14C 28N would have been a little bit better, right? More preferable. D2 is not 100% corrosion resistant, but you know, as long as you're not, you know, somewhere where it's really humid or anything like that, you should be okay. Also, if you take care of your blades and every day you give it a nice wipe, from time to time you give it a nice coat of oil and things like that to keep it pristine, you should be okay. They come very well oiled from the factory. By the way, this one, even after quite some use, from time to time I still see a little bit of oil from the pivot that I have to wipe off, so they definitely do a good job right there. So I mean, let's talk price on this thing, right? Price wise, this thing is in the $40-ish range, right? So it's really not a ton of money that you're going to be spending on this knife. So you're looking at other competitors like Civivi, Sencut, right? CJRB, Vosteed also has some knives in this price category, price range. So yeah, not really bad at all. Again, built really good. I do find myself kind of, you know, got to remember to kind of sync my index finger and then light switch it, right? Instead of, you know, if I'm doing it and not aware of what I'm doing, I might slip off a little bit, but you know, there is jimping there. You know, so as long as you do it right, you should be okay. But yeah, that's my take on this knife, right? Kind of would have preferred multiple deployment options and a few other things like the reversible pocket clip and hardware. But hey, it's a budget knife, right? It's gonna get the work done. D2 is pretty decently easy to sharpen. $40-something. That's not gonna break the bank for anybody. Great knife to get someone into EDC, right? If they're considering getting into EDC. And as a matter of fact, any new people or new people in general who are getting into EDC, they should consider and test out and experiment with as many budget knives as they possibly can, because you know that kind of gives you a feel for the knives, the tools, the brands, the quality overall. So yeah, definitely check out the QSP Walrus. And by the way, I like that QSP does, you know, sort of a naming convention or methodology with animals. You got the parrot, you got the penguin, you got, you know, all kinds of different knives. You got the Otter right here, which I'm going to be reviewing next as well. So yeah, definitely some pretty cool knives from Kaiser, guys. Check out the links in the description. Again, if you end up deciding you want to pick one up and use those links, it definitely helps out the channel at absolutely zero additional cost, but that is 100% up to you. That being said, guys, let me know if I missed anything in the comments. What more do you want to know about the QSP Walrus? If I missed anything, questions that you may have, let me know down below. We're going to hang out in the comments after the video goes live. If you made it to the very end, you guys are the real MVPs. Thank you so much for sticking around with me until the end. I appreciate every single one of you. If you aren't yet subscribed, this will be a perfect time to make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out any new uploads, especially obviously if you're into knife and EDC gear like myself. Also, smash that like button if you don't mind. It helps with the YouTube algorithm so that this video can reach a larger audience. And if you want to support the channel a step further, there's a link down below for Patreon, or you can simply support the channel right here on YouTube by becoming a channel member. You'll get access to exclusive perks. That's been it, guys. That's all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Again, check out the review on the Otter. This particular one is coated in black and it does have 14C 28N, so another pretty good one from QSP. Check out the video card right here so you can watch that video next. Take care, guys. I appreciate your love and support, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.